Hello everyone, welcome to Michael's vlog in the Philippines. Today I'm going to be talking about customer service in the Philippines. Now I actually wanted to do this video as a live stream, but I can't do live streaming on my cell phone because I gotta meet the requirements, so unfortunately I cannot do that. I tried to live stream it from my computer today, and I kept getting this error on YouTube talking about could not stream, please try again. So I don't know what's going on with that. I tested my internet, seems to be moving pretty quickly, so I'm assuming maybe there's an error on YouTube server. So I gotta kind of make these videos without live streaming them until hopefully they fix whatever is wrong, or maybe my internet is moving too slow, which I don't think that's the case, but until it speeds up to a decent speed. But anyway, let's talk about customer service in the Philippines. If you are from America, the expectations that you have for customer service there, do not expect them here. At least this has been my experience. Now, I'm not saying that every foreigner who has been here has had this same experience, but let me just kind of share some examples with you. Usually when I go to the store, if there's a particular product that I'm looking for, a lot of times I'll ask a customer service representative, like, hey, do you know if you carry this product? And they will look at me and be like, nah, I don't really know if we carry that. That's always usually the first response. And then they'll look at one of their co-workers, ask them, and they, oh, I don't know either. And so 3 or 4 people look at each other and they don't know if they have the product in the store. And I'm thinking that they probably do have the product in the store, because the type of store that I'm in is the type of store that would typically carry that kind of product. But they have no idea if they carry that product. The next question I usually ask is, okay, well, if you don't have the product, do you know of a store that I could go to? And then the same process happens. They look at me crazy and like, nah, I don't know where you could get that from. In this whole city, you don't know of even one store. And then they look at their coworker, I don't know. Look at the next coworker, they don't know. So usually when you ask people, and I had to learn this the hard way, because I used to tell my wife, I'm like, well, they probably will know. Let me just ask them. I'm being naive, not realizing that she's trying to help me understand that it's not like that here. Like, if you ask somebody where something at, or if there's another store they could think of, they don't know. Like, and if I'm even to the point, I think that if they did know, they still wouldn't say anything. Like, I feel like they just don't care to a certain extent. But I could be wrong. I'm not saying that that's necessarily true. That's just my observation. But usually when you ask somebody where something is at, or if they can recommend another store, it's probably not going to get you very far. There's very few people. Now, there are some people that can give you some answers, but even in a case where they do tell me, oh, you should try this store, and I know in the back of my mind that store doesn't even carry it, because I've been to some of the stores that they might recommend. And like, oh, I know that store don't carry it. I mean, I've been to that type of store. I know what kind of stuff they carry. And so sometimes they recommend you to stores that you already know 100% they don't carry that product. That's how crazy it is here. Like, the customer service is like, man, and I'm not talking about, from your interaction in the store. Like, if you buy something in the store, you go through checkout, it's going to be the same experience roughly as what you get in America. I mean, they do have streamlined processes for checking out and all that stuff. So that's not going to be as big of an issue. Okay, but when it comes to getting help, like trying to find something or find out where you can buy it from, do not expect that experience when you go to the stores here, because at least that's been mine. I don't know if you're going to have that same experience, but when I'm in Davao, I don't expect anyone to help me. I just got to figure it out on my own. If they don't carry it in the store that I'm at, I need to go on the internet, try to search and find a store that might carry it. Call that store so I don't waste time and energy driving way out there, or catching a cab, I should say, all the way out to that store, and then they arrive there and they don't have what I'm looking for. So, that's kind of the typical, customer service experience that you get. And actually sometimes even when I get in a taxi, sometimes the taxi drivers don't know where you need to go, and you gotta kind of tell them where things are at. And I understand to a certain extent if they're a new driver, but like when it's like main places that like are well-known brands and you don't know where the store is at, sometimes that can get a little frustrating. Just sometimes. That's very rare that I had a problem in the cab though, but sometimes when you're in a taxi, you do have people that don't know where something is at, even if it's a mainstream store. But I just want you guys to know, especially if you're coming from America, I don't know about other countries outside of that, except for the Philippines. But if you're coming from a different country and you come to the Philippines and you have a certain type of expectation for customer service in the stores, don't expect that here. It's going to be totally different. The level of helpfulness, in terms of finding what you want, it's not going to be that high. In some specialty stores, you will get that kind of experience. Like I said, I can't say that's for every store, but most of the time, the experience that I told you is what I've been having. But sometimes, like I said, specialty stores, if you go in the hardware store, I would say 99% of the time you're probably good in the hardware store, because that's usually hardware stuff. And if you ask them for something specific, they usually know. But if you go into but I wouldn't count on that. I wouldn't count on that. You still should be making sure you understand what it is that you're looking for, and understand how the product works that you're looking for. So to make sure that you get exactly what you want. And the reason I say that is because when I go to, for example, a computer store, if you're looking for laptops or different accessories, that like a printer or whatever it may be, when you go in the store, do not expect the representative to understand the products. Because I went into stores and sometimes I'll be talking to the representatives and about computer stuff and like what I'm looking for and the specs, and they don't really know. Like they'll be looking at me kind of crazy, like I'm not sure fully about them. Like basically I'm more knowledgeable about the products than they are. And that's what I mean by the customer service is different here. Like if you don't know anything about computers and you go into a computer store and you're leaning on the customer service representative to give you answers and an understanding of what those components do and how they work and how they can benefit you and for what your specific needs are, do not expect to get a proper answer. You'll go up in that store and walk out with something that is either probably too expensive for your needs and you don't even need all that stuff, or it's so cheap that it can't meet your needs. It just depends on what your needs are. But you really need to go in there and be knowledgeable when you go to different stores. Even if you're going into a camera store. If you're going into a camera store, you still need to be somewhat knowledgeable about how the camera stuff work. Don't go up in there and don't know nothing, because if you go up in there and don't know nothing, they'll be selling you whatever they can sell you. It's just they just trying to make a sale seem like a lot of times. They don't know what they selling, but they selling it. Type of stuff. So it's kind of crazy here in the Philippines when it comes to customer service. But I just wanted to let you guys know what my experience has been for customer service. But the general, flow of how the business works, there's no problems. If you tell a person, hey, I'm ready to check out, you give them the money, they're going to scan it, all that get taken care of. The structure of the store is just set up like America too. You go around, they got clothes on racks, they got little different displays that's specialized, and like everything, everything is organized. Like that whole basic experience is pretty much the same. It's only when you get to asking for information that you start having problems, when you up in these different stores. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if it was helpful, and you like the information I shared with you, definitely make sure you embed, comment, share, and subscribe, and leave thumbs up, because that thumbs up helps me to get that YouTube algorithm all happy and excited to get me to a level where I can probably do live streams from my phone if I keep getting them subscribers up as well. So you guys help me out, and I would definitely want to do live streams from my phone because the quality just looks so much better, and yet it's still convenient. But I would love to hear from some of you guys. What has been your customer service experience in the Philippines? I mean, I haven't shared with you some of my worst stories. I mean, I had some bad stories with customer service where people were kind of rude and disrespectful, and the customer is never right in the Philippines. That's been my experience. If you ever have an issue with a company here, do not expect that you were never right. It's always your fault. And even if you give them the information and tell them exactly what happened, even if you got proof, it's still your fault. It's always your fault in the Philippines when it comes to customer service. It's never the company. That's been my experience. But I very rarely have had those type of problems that I'm talking about now. But it has happened once or twice. in the 4 or 5 years I've been here. So it's very rare, but when it does happen, it just kind of blow your mind. Like, I just, even if you break it down for them, it's just like so simple. Like, it's clear as day. It's not your fault. It's still your fault. The customer is always at fault. So that's how it works here in the Philippines. It's just kind of mind blowing. And there's other stories I want to share with you guys. I mean, I talk to a lot of foreigners here, and it just, some of the stories they share with me, my stories ain't got nothing on that. Like, some of the stuff they be talking about, man, I'd be like, wow. I want to interview one guy. Maybe, I don't know if he'll do an interview with me on video, but one day I'd love to sit down with him and do an interview and just be like, hey man, let's talk about that story that you told me about. Like, it's some crazy stuff sometimes, man. But anyway, I'm not gonna babble on. You guys have a great day, and hopefully I can live stream again, because I had so much fun live streaming and seeing you guys is giving me feedback right during the video. That's a new experience for me. I don't really do the live stream, but it's kind of fun. I'm still gonna be nervous a little bit in the live stream, but it's still exciting for me. I'm not comfortable yet doing it, but I want to keep doing it until I get to a point where it's just second nature for me. So until then, y'all have a good one, and I'll see you guys in future videos. If you have any recommendations for videos you want to see, let me know in the comment section below.